While this is warming up, or if it is warmed up and I just pushed it out of the way, whatever works for you, we need to clamp this thing down. Now I have a few clamps. These we use fairly common, but it depends on what we're doing. In this case, a lot of what we're doing is it's on the outside, and I'm afraid the head might hit this sticking up so high, so we're going to use the low profile ones. Now on this table, I have a couple different offsets already set. This is labeled number 9, 10, 11, and 12, and if you look at the table, they're engraved in there. I use the actual CNC to engrave those numbers. What that means is, when I put a board in here, and you can see the holes that I've drilled, again with a CNC, I put some pegs in, just 3 of them, and I can put it in the corner and it holds it steady. Now, of course, I've got those underneath, but you see the point. Where these meet, that's the offset that I have preset on there. So I just need to tell the computer, go to offset number 10, and it will know that that's my home position. And when I drew this, that was my home position. So we're going to use these clamps, and I'm going to pull one off just to show kind of how they go on. This is the tool we use to unscrew it. And the way that they're made is there's a large metal piece that slides inside the T-track with a washer. So you need to put a space between them and then slide it in. Okay, we'll flip that around. Same with these. They're not the same piece, but they do attach the same. So I would slide these in and lock them down nice and tight. You don't need to crank on them super hard. However, they're tight. They're not going to move. Then let's go ahead and loosen this up a little bit. Try to make sure there's nothing underneath. I see some sawdust. Anything underneath is going to raise it up and it'll give you a bad cut. So put it in there nice and snug. Everything is tight. So what I did is I put the pegs in, put it in, and then slid these on and tightened them down. Same with these. Now I tighten these down, but they're still not tight on the board yet. They're just down on the table. So I could still lift this board out if I wanted. So make sure it's down, put it in at an angle, and that's where the clamp comes in. And again, don't over tighten, just snug it down. Make sure it's down tight. And I always like to grab and kind of pull, and that is not coming out. If you feel any movement at all, tighten these a little bit farther. All right, so this is in the right place. We're at offset number 10, and now we can load the code. I tried to put the camera so that you could see the screen, but also kind of what's going on in the background. It may be a little out of focus, but we should be able to at least do what we need to do. So now that it's all warmed up, the last thing we do is load the code. So what we need to do now is get its X, Y, and Z. Now I said that it is at offset number 10. Right now it's at number 1, and we change 1 all the time. So we just click on it, it kind of highlights, and press 10, enter. And now it says, you may have noticed these numbers changed a bit. Now it's off on offset number 10, or that's where it knows its home is. Now I always want to double check. So go down to here to this line, this manual data input, and put X0, Y0, enter. And you can see that the head is moving, and I need to know that here to here is straight up and down, which it is. I mean, I can visually just say that is correct. Good. Now that that is set and I know that my offset's correct, click in this box once or twice to kind of clear this out, then I can manually move it around. I have the X, Y, now I need the Z. And that's done with a Smart Tool setup. It's right here. So what I need to do is take my bit, and I'm just going to use the keyboard. Now remember, the keyboard needs to be turned this way for up and down, for this to be accurate, because that's up, that's down. So this is a little bit 90 degrees. I need to go down a little bit. Oh, let me click, see, like I said, if you don't click out, it doesn't quite work. There we go, now the head's moving, and to the right a little bit. So I've put it in the corner, not in the middle, but way over here in the corner. And honestly, it would work either way, but I like it here. And I take this pad, which is just sitting on the side. It's magnetic. You just set it on your board and underneath the blade. You got to make sure it's under the blade because it's going to touch off of this pad. If it's not there, it's going to dig through your wood. So we put it under the blade, and then we push the button that says Smart Tool Setup. It asks, is the spindle positioned over the pad, over the mobile start pad? Yes, it is. Are you running a program with multiple tools? In this case, I only have one tool, and it's the tool that's already in there. If you're only using one tool, but it isn't what's in there, then you have to hit, yes, I'm doing multiple tools, which means I have to change it out. Any program with more than one tool, and we do that now and then, of course hit yes. So most of the time you'll hit yes. In this case, I know that's a 1/4" bit and I know it's the right one, so I can hit no. All that does is it saves it time from tipping off. Now if you can see that it's lowering down, it's going to touch the pad. There's a little bit of electricity running through it, just a tiny bit, and it's going to ground it out once it hits the pad, and it'll know exactly where it is. The computer knows how thick this pad is and does it twice, then it raises back up. Now it knows where this surface is. Had I hit the button that says yes, there's multiple tools, it would also tip off over here on the side where this pad is. So either way, don't worry about it. That's how it works. Now we have our X, Y, and Z axes. It's ready. All we have to do now is load the code. So we go up here, load code, right there. That code is found on the desktop. Go down till it says important G-code files. These are the ones that we use a lot of. I use them all the time. Double click. One of them says toolboxes, right there. And we are doing the large toolbox. Now the UL means the home position is in the upper left, which we went over already. Click that and hit open. And you'll see all this code appear right here, including a little picture here. Now I can zoom in a little bit with scrolling on the mouse. That's about as close as I can get, but I can see that that's correct. Those are the sides that I want. The only thing left at this point is to hit cycle start, and then off it goes. I'm just about to hit cycle start. There it goes. It'll move over and it'll ask you for a tool change. We don't need one. This is a default of the software. Just hit OK or enter and it's on the screen. The next thing it says is attached the dust shoe, this part right here. 3 magnets is what holds it on, and it only goes on one way. So if I do it wrong, it'll kind of move around, it won't click in. So flip it around until you feel it attach and click, and that's it. Hit enter or hit OK. It'll go down to the home position, about 1 inch off. It'll start up and off it goes.